awful headache. I want to be honest with y'all. Don't feel good. The good news is, we should be done with these, which means we should be able to put these together and make one of these. So check that out. Look at that. See what we can do. Oh goodness. Okay, so we're gonna try and speed up that timer, which means we need to like get our merge on to get all the bunnies, right? Okay, so we're gonna have to make that happen because I need this. I need this. So, remember how I said that every day I got closer to being out of the garage, that was gonna be harder to be there? Oh my gosh. Things I don't want to be right about. It has not been easier. It's been fucking awful, actually. So, let's get on with today's funny story, if that's what we want to call it. So, again, let me just apologize for last night's absolutely horrific storytelling. Oh, sugar bears. I didn't mean to do that. Son of a bitch. Damn premature. Let's see. What is, first of all, cool. What, I'm trying to figure out the coins. So, that's 270. And the big one's 810. 270 plus 90, that actually would get that built. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to try and get through as many matches and everything as we can before we start doing that. So, I'll try to recap in a way that's sensible and not like, oh my god. So anyway, Cupcake contacts wife to get my number. Now, I don't know if this is a generational thing. I have no idea. But I come from the land of you don't give out people's personal information without their permission, right? Because if somebody doesn't have somebody's information, there's a reason for it, you know? And, you know, if you don't know that reason for it, and it's not even your business, right? I gotta say, you don't need to poke at that bear, right? So, I don't know. And if you are going to give somebody information, you always ask the person first and be like, hey, is it okay to give this to this person? Because, like, who knows, right? Who knows why they don't have it? Because I don't. And, again, that's also not, like, anybody's business because you don't know the kind of history that people have with each other, right? And, like, I have known some people that I've known, like, other people with, and then find out later, like, years later, like, things about people that I had no idea about, right? And that's, like, a thing, right? That's a thing. And then you never know the kind of relationships that people have with one another, right? Like, you just don't know. And so, it's a lot. Like, it's a lot. And it's just best not to assume things, I think. And no one owes you an explanation of like why they don't trust somebody, want to be around them, etc., so on. Like nobody owes you that because when you're requiring people to answer questions like that, you're quite possibly asking them to relive trauma, which is no okay, right? What we're not going to do is that kind of stuff. So, it is important to, respect that kind of thing and understand that people have their reasons, and you never know what those things are, right? So, yeah. Well, I'm a very direct and upfront person, right? Telling stories about my life and like things I'm literally going through right here on the internet, right? Yeah, not exactly shy. Um, but I'm also well aware of what I'm putting out there and what I'm not, and in what way, and everything like that. So like again, that's really important to consider. Now, as when we last left our villain, um, apparently Cupcake called wife trying to get my information. Now, wife and I have only known each other for like the duration of us working together, right? And I started working there in August, like the very end of August. So it's not even, we've not even known each other a year, right? Um, in the time that we've known each other, we've gotten pretty close because near the time that we met, like a couple of months in, I guess, wife went through a breakup and had a really hard time, and it was a lot. Now, um, I think the way wife's breakup played out was kind of a standard breakup. Like, I don't think that there's a nice way to break up with people. Um, I think in a breakup, what usually happens, just this is my observation and my experience, is one person is usually ready and the other person is not. And I'm talking about like a one-to-one relationship with someone, right? Obviously, relationship dynamics, when more people are added in, get more complicated. But suffice it to say, there are absolutely instances where like everybody's on the same page and everybody's ready to part ways. That's totally a thing. That's totally possible. But I find what I observe a lot of the times is that's not what happens. And I feel like some of it probably is a breakdown in communication. Wants, needs, and whatnot are not being met, and people become unhappy. And hey, like, it's totally fair to want your wants and needs met. I think it's reasonable, and I think that's like part of having a good relationship with people. I also think it's really important for you to communicate those. And I think that in general, people are not very good at doing that. And it is not somebody else's job to guess at what you want or what you need. And it is not reasonable to put that onus on them, right? Like, it's not. Um, and I think that you're very much so taking the easy way out, if you will, if you essentially try to force people to guess at what you want and then take issue with them not, guessing correctly or guessing well, right? I don't think that's reasonable because it's not. And look, it is totally hard to ask for what you want for some people. It is hard to like verbalize things. And I'm sure a lot of the times, oh my god, I am so sorry about that. A lot of the times, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to fix that. So I'm going to circle back probably in the morning because I am wrapping up some work right now. Hopefully this sends. Okay, so all right, what's gonna happen is everybody, everybody on on demand is gonna see a random message pop up. When I post this later on YouTube, I'm absolutely gonna edit that shit out. Yeah, actually, I swiped away so quickly, I didn't actually even have time to see what it said. And so I had to pause to go and see what it said and make sure it wasn't something terrible. Um, because that would be bad. And it wasn't. It was, just a series of questions actually about my dog. So anyway, um, the whole thing with it is like communicating your needs and your wants and your desires. For some people, it's just really hard, but it's still your job to do that, right? If you want something, you have to make it clear. You cannot play guessing games with people. Um, and like it's totally fair for you to want to, you know, be in the same kind of be in the same kind of communication style and level with someone, but that still is going to require you to like be clear about what that is and know when, hey, something isn't working, because that's kind of like your responsibility, right, as a person. um, and that's, I mean, and look, that's how I feel about it, that's what I think. If you want to know things, right, you gotta ask questions, which, let's just all laugh at the irony of that right there. Yes, 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 we're gonna do that. So anyway, um, now I think another thing that's really important is you are always, in my point of view, you're always welcome and encouraged to ask questions, right? But just because you asked a question does not entitle you to an answer. And I think people get real, really in their feels about that. Like, the entitlement is just, it is just a lot, really. And I don't follow how that, like, makes any sense. I absolutely understand why it's a thing, like 100%. But it, in general, just doesn't make any good sense. Like, that's not how the world works. You don't get stuff just because you want it. Now, obviously, for some people, that's totally how it works, right? But in a, I don't know, morally just situation, no. Like, and I'm not saying that you have to earn things per se. Like, that's a bit of a sticky wicket, I think. But you're not entitled to, like, certain information. Like, particularly if somebody doesn't want to talk to you about something, you're not entitled to that information just because you want it. Now, we need to understand, right, that, oh, hey, let's not forget about this stuff. Something can be relevant to you, that still doesn't make you entitled to that information. That just means it's relevant to you. Like, okay, if I'm talking to someone, it is relevant to me, like, how they feel about me as a person and whether they want to keep talking to me, right? Like, that's relevant information. If the person doesn't want to give me that information, they don't want to give me that information. Now, me personally, if you're going to withhold information like that, obviously that is going to become a problem. And It also does not make any sense why you would withhold specifically that information, but you know, people are weird and stuff, so like whatever. But it's a thing. But as it is, like, just because you want to know something doesn't give you the right to that information. And yeah, that sucks. But if somebody doesn't, like, some people don't owe you explanations, right? Is it nice to know? Sure. And me, I'm the kind of person who's super curious. I absolutely like to know things. But I also I understand that regardless of anything, people have their reasons for wanting to and not wanting to do certain things. And it's not my place to tell somebody like what they need to do. It's just not. Like, if you don't want to do something, you don't want to do it, right? It is super, super simple. That's, see, shut up, shovel. I don't think that's, oh no! Damn. Did it again. I don't think that's a hard concept. Shut up. I do wish I could undo stuff. That'd be awesome. Right? Oh, is that one of the ways I've been getting coins? Is by opening stuff? Wow, I feel silly. I didn't know this. Wow, friend. Wow. A little slow on the uptake here. But yeah. Anyway, so like that was all like a giant aside. As it stands. Yeah. So I'm trying to gather my brains as to where I am, because like this game board is just big enough for it to be difficult for me to manage. Right? Like just big enough. But not so big that it's like really impossible. Yeah? Like just big enough to be like vaguely inconvenient. Which is fine. I'm just trying to make the most of my coins as I can. So, anyway. Cupcake called Wife's Store. And the youngin' answered the phone. Now, we haven't talked about the youngin' because she's not relevant to the storyline, but she is thusly named because she kind of doesn't have any sense. Like, I have heard tell of her doing things that are like your age and your immaturity is showing a lot, right? Like a lot. And I mean, she's young, so right, what do you expect? But like some of the stuff she's doing, it's painful to watch, because all I'm thinking is what? Like, seriously? This is how why do you think this is a good idea? This is not a good idea. So we're gonna go ahead and, speaking of good ideas, let's see where this is. Okay, I totally have enough to do this. We're gonna do it right now, because we're gonna be, because I want this done. I want it done. Boom! Oh. Damn. Oh my god, that's a ridiculous amount of coins. Alright. Well, what's gonna happen is we're gonna have to come back to that then. That sucks. Okay, since we've done that, we don't need to worry about these anymore. These. So let's, I guess... let's concentrate on these. Because we still have to build Castle Mermaid. So we've got... what is it? This is Castle Beauty. We've got Castle Boots over here. This is Castle Bunyan. And this is Castle Mermaid. And so let's just eat up all our energies doing that. So, anyway, come to find out more of what happened. So apparently, Cupcake called wife's store, and the dingbat answers because wife is busy, right? So yeah. Well, apparently, not only did Dingbat answer, Dingbat also called back to like give the message to Cupcake, and the answer is no, I don't have her number, that's the right answer. Oh my gosh. Why is this like this? That's weird. That's usually 350. I'm impatient, so what we're gonna do is this. Okay, we're gonna just pause it real quick so we can watch this ad. Okay, sorry about that. You know, Merge Dragons was like I think one of the first, if not the first, one of the first. Like merge games I came across. And I gotta say, I don't like, this one is so much better than like all the other ones. Do I not have a fifth one? I don't think I do. Like, so much better. Let's just go ahead and do that. So anyway, Dingbat answers and says, nope, don't have it. Now, I don't know whether Dingbat is like actually aware of the situation, or whether she's camp, you can't have my information if I don't give it to you. Right? Like, I have no idea. I'm not interested in talking to her because I don't particularly care for her. I don't have a high opinion of, like, the levels of ridiculousness that she was engaging in. And it was just like, wow. Just, wow, this is a lot. And this is coming from somebody who's like mentally ill. Okay. When I'm like, wow, that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot. So, looks like this one matches with this one. So anyway, yeah. Now, I went to work today, and I got a call from Juice this morning with some updates of some nonsense that happened, and we'll circle back to that in a bit. But I walked by Cupcake like a dozen times today, and not once did he say, "Hey, what's your cell phone number?" Right? Like, at no point did he ask me. Now, right, again, my point of view is, if you can't get the information from me, and it's as easy as just walking up to me and asking, then it's not something that I feel you need. And that's that. Right? That's that. That's the whole of it. So anyway, yup. But what I'm missing here is, like, why didn't he just ask me? Like, if anybody has this information, right, it's gonna be me, right? Because it is. And I don't understand it. And I don't think I'm going to, and I'm not going to ask him, because I frankly don't think he's going to tell me the truth, if he would even answer. And it's my experience that when you put people on the spot, they get a little grumpy about it, which is, fair. I can understand why somebody might take issue with you putting them on the spot. But I am a really kind of direct person. And so if I have a question, it just makes more sense to me to just ask. Like, I don't like guessing games. So if I want to know something, I can just ask you. And again, just because I ask, just because I want to know, doesn't mean I'm entitled to know. If you don't want to answer me, you don't want to answer me. That's your prerogative. But anyway, I don't know. People are funny. So the whole time I'm there today, he doesn't say anything to me, which, strikes me as a little weird. I haven't done anything specifically to him, like outwardly, deliberately. I think if I could be accused of anything, it's not taking his shit. Right? Like, if he says to do something, I do not hesitate to say no. And like I said, I don't think he knows how to take that, which also just seems really silly to me. Like, does this mean you've never been told no in your life? Like, what? I don't understand that. I mean, I also don't see how that's statistically possible. Somebody somewhere has got to have told you no. Like, that just, right? I think so. So anyway, I go the whole day, and he says, I'm pretty sure he didn't say anything to me. Now, what I did hear today is that, right, Cupcake was big mad about my absence yesterday. And at one point, contacts Gumby, and Gumby takes his sweet ass time getting back to him, and I was like, good on you, brother. Like, seriously. You're not at work. Don't answer work bullshit. Like, nothing is an emergency. Nothing can't wait. Okay? So, you get back to shit and people and things when you get back to it. Like, I do not believe that you owe, like, instant answers to people. Like, that's not fucking reasonable. At all. I think we need to clear the game board a little bit. Oopsie. I'm just gonna, like, idly clear it. Not, like, seriously, but just idly. Nope, that doesn't do it. So, he apparently Cupcake reached out to Gumby yesterday morning because Gumby was also off and was like, where is she? Why isn't she here? And he was like, she had today off. I told you that like weeks ago. And I don't know what his answer, like his response to that was, but it sounded like something to the effect of, oh. And I'm just like, so what's happened is you got like big mad over nothing? Is that what happened? You got big mad over nothing. And then you felt foolish because you got big mad over nothing and so you just didn't reply? Like, I don't know. I guess that's what happened. And I don't know. Did he say nothing to me because he was so mad that he was probably going to say something he shouldn't have and I was not going to react well? I don't know. Maybe. Did he say nothing because he was advised by the guy above him to keep his mouth shut and to like not poke me? Because the guy above him is not familiar like with my personality or my temperament like in a real way. So he was not in a position to like warn him and be like, you better not poke her, she'll bite you. Right? Even though fucking accurate. So I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's weird. But at one point, I went back to, like, I got off my lunch and I went back to, like, help with something. And I went up to Gubby and I was like, hey, is there still XYZ in the back? Because I hadn't noticed it. And he was like, yeah, I think so. It's such and such. And I was like, okay. Well, this is kind of a priority thing, so I'll go ahead and get on it and go to help. And I went in the back to help to start working on something. And let me tell you, Cupcake walked like around me and like avoided coming anywhere near me in order to suddenly take over this job. Now, I gotta tell you, I think that was really weird. But, hey, okay, guy. Whatever floats your boat, I guess. But I did think it was very curious that he went from not actively working on something to, like, basically rushing to do it the minute I showed up to help. Are my feelings hurt? I mean, no. I'm good. I'm totally good. It was tires. I didn't want to do them. I was going to, but I didn't want to. So, whatever, guy. And so I came up to the front and I was like, so, can you explain this to me? And I, like, set out the situation and he's like, I don't know. But if he's got it, he's got it. And I'm like, I mean, okay, that's fine. Whatever. No bigs, peeps. I just thought it was funny. So, Update on Operation Escape. My drug test came back fine, obviously. Why? Because I'm boring and I don't do anything. I don't party. I don't really drink. I don't go anywhere. Do anything. I do not engage in any sort of illicit activities because that's not my style. And look, if you engage in illicit activities, that's your business. I'm gonna mind my business over here. This has nothing to do with me. And nobody asked me, so I'm gonna just stay in my lane over here. This is was it the double yellow lines? Can't change the lines. Let's just put these together. Fuck it, right? Fuck it. Alright. So anyway, that was fun. I guess. I'm not really. So now my IDs are getting updated. Got my drug test done. Now all I have to do is wait on the background check, which is just, taking the time it's taking, right? No bigs. How much? Okay. I'm trying to make it to an hour. I find lately that I've been having, like, headaches a lot. And I'm not quite sure why. Like, it's not frequent or of a I'm trying to think. It's not of a frequency or severity enough for me to, like, really be worried about it. What is this? Why are there two of these? Oh, those are monies. I was like, what? Okay, those are diamonds. So